Hello friends, once again I'm Yoniri ma'am. Very good morning to all of you. And today I'm going to deal with the topic number same topic, figures of speech, and part 2. So in this portion we will discuss the remaining figures of speech in this video. I hope previous video you liked it. If you like my video, then please subscribe my channel and share it to your friends. Okay, and in this chapter we will discuss the remaining figures of speech, and it will definitely help you to find out the correct figure of speech of the given line. Yes, figure of speech part 2. Here we discuss the remaining next figures of speech with a different name, different meaning, and different usage of that. I hope you find it interesting, and you will also learn with a interest. Yes, now the first one is onomatopoeia. Now this onomatopoeia, here the sound of words suggest or echo the meaning of the word. Means here you will find this word which is describing the sound, a particular sound, and or echo of the meaning of the word. At that time you can say that that is the onomatopoeia, the naming of the thing or action by a vocal imitation of a sound associated with it, such as a buzz and hiss. So this suggests the particular sound. For example, the car whizzed past us. Whizzed, this is the sound of passing the car. They hear the tolling bell. This is the sound of a bell. Shh, not talking in the library, please. Shh, it is a kind of a sound. Okay, sound word. Ding dong, there was someone at the door. So ding dong, it suggests the bell sound of a door. Ouch, you just stepped on my toe. So this is the kind of a exclamation. The kind of ouch, it's a kind of an exclamation, or rather you can say that this is the sound. I can hear everything you are saying about me. So this is also a kind of a sound. So onomatopoeia particularly used when there is a such a sound words are suggested in the word in your line. Climax. Here words are arranged in the increasing order of importance. So that is called climax. So words are arranging in ascending manner. I think we have reached a point of great decision, not just for our nation. So first they are talking about nation. Then a step ahead, not only for all humanity. First we talking about nation, then we take a step ahead of humanity, then but for life upon the earth. So first we talking about nation, then the bigger one humanity, and then the bigger one the whole earth. Let a man his obligation to himself, first himself, then wider to his family, then wider to his country, and then his God. So this is the ascending order from means small to big one, which is arranged in the increasing. Slowly it is increasing. So that is called climax. Now this is the opposite of climax, that is anticlimax. Here the ideas or words are arranged in a descending order. This is a figure of speech that is opposite to climax. Okay, so here we have come to big to small. Okay, and opposite to climax. It is descendant from upward to downward. So we start with the small to the big one, upward to the downward. From the sublime to ridiculous. It is usually a sudden transition in a discourse from a significant idea to trivial or ludicrous idea. The great Dalhousie, he, the god of war. So the great Dalhousie, first he, small one, and the bigger one is the god of war. Lieutenant, then colonel, and the Earl of Mar. Okay, so here they are arranging them in small to bigger one, then that lieutenant and then colonel. Okay, these are the post supposed to. The great Dalhousie, the god of war. Okay. Pun. Now pun is very much interesting kind of thing, and in this figure of speech a word is used in more than one sense. Okay, so whenever a word is used with its double meaning, at that time you can say that it is a pun. Pun is usually use of a word in such a way to suggest two or more of its meaning, or the meaning of another word similar in sound. Okay, for example, if you are sometime watching this show Bhabiji, when Anguri is speaking such like hurt and hot, so every time she says that you hurt me, but the particular meaning is that you hurt me. So hurt and hot, but both are used in its double meaning way. So wrong English, but in such a putting a pun in her speech, and while you are using this, it's such a create some kind of a little bit of humor. Also, firefighting sparks my interest. Now firefighting means things which fight to the fire, that spark is also connected with fire, my interest. Firefighting sparks, here sparks has two meanings. First is electric sparks, and here sparks means it creates such an interest in that. So firefighting sparks my interest. Sparks means all of a sudden a very great create such a great interest in that. She is skillful pilot whose career has really taken off. Now she is skillful pilot whose career has really taken off. Taken off, pilot means it's related to the two words. Taken off means take off the way, take off of the plane, which is in the sense of pilot, and taken off, here he talking about his career. With this, because she is a skillful pilot, his plane is also take off, and his career, because he is a skillful pilot, his career is also taken up, means her career is also on a high peak. He kept his spirits up by pouring spirits down. Now spirits up and pouring spirits down. So he kept his spirits up. For keeping his spirits up, he used to down other spirits. Means if you want to win, then you try to start it sublime or create such a inferiority complex to your I forgot the word, your enemy, or rather you can say is that your competitor. So you should started boasting on yourself, and the same time they are feeling okay, you are too much with the whole kind of skill, and he is lagging somewhere. So here this kind of thing, like what example of this Three Idiot, that character of I forgot, Chatur. So he used to distract all the students with the kind of using kind of a magazine and try to improve his marks. Okay, so this distraction from a particular thing, that is called spirits up and spirits down. He is a model millionaire. Here model has a two meaning. One meaning is standard, and second meaning posing to be a painted. So modeling kind of thing. So that is the model, pose, giving pose, and first model is standard. He is a model millionaire. Now you are a man of weight. Now weight, it is in kilogram, and weight means you are in a power position, you are influence of someone, or under the influence of someone. So you can use this word. So here you can say that these words have two different meanings, and it will create such a pun. Internal rhyme. Now, what is internal rhyme? You will find some rhyming words in the same sentence or in the same line. When words in the same line rhyme with each other, the figure of speech is internal rhyme. Internal rhyme means a same line has a two rhyming words in a one line. The cattle fought a battle. So cattle and battle. So both are the rhyming words. He lays his staircase as he goes. Under his 8 thoughtful toes. Goes and toes. Both are internal rhyme words. So I hope this is very easy to understand. Internal rhyme. Paradox. Paradox is a figure of speech where the statement appears absurd but contains the truth. Sometimes whenever you are looking towards this kind of sentences, statements, it appears like absurd. It means there is no coordination between that, but though they are truthful. It is a statement that is seemingly contradictory or opposite to common sense. Whenever you are using your common sense, it seems like it is contradictory. Two opposite things are there. How can you match it? Yet is perhaps true. Though they are true, it is a rhetorical device used to attract attention to secure emphasis on whatever point poet want to put or secure emphasis of or attention of the reader at that time. To attract the attention of the reader, they are using such a kind of things. War is peace and freedom is slavery. Now you will get any idea that how you will find peace in war and how you will find slavery in freedom. But yeah, war is peace and freedom is slavery. It's a different meaning. Here war is peace means after the war everything will be in a peace. At war you are facing such a things, but after war you will get a peace, a particular result you have. And freedom is a slavery. Okay, if you want to be free, then freedom is a slavery. It's a kind of thing that you are bound to do something with that. Though today we have our days of freedom, but still we are not free. We are slave of the Western cultures. We are the slave of their culture, the way of thinking. Why? Because they are putting it in our culture. So freedom is slavery. It really in the contextual. He loves being in the public eye, but also deeply values and protects his privacy. Now publicly he loves begin and how he protects his value deeply in his privacy. So publicly and privacy both are putting paradoxically. Failure are the pillars of a success. This is the very truth. Now you will get no sense that how failure are the pillars of the success, but your failure is really or indeed the pillars of a success, because every failure give you a one advice. You will learn with your failures, and it will really help to build your character high, and it will really help to build you up as a strong person. And that is why your failure is the pillar of your success. But at a very first sight we see this sentence as a very much paradoxical, and we think that it is absurd. It hasn't any meaning, but it has its deep own roots meaning. It has its deep rooted meaning. Cowardice die many times before their death. Okay, so cowards die many times before their death. When you are coward, when you are a fearful person, then before you death you will die so many times. Here the death is talking about a mental death, not a physical one. So he is saying that the person who is coward, he dies many times before their physical death. Before their physical death they already die too many times with this mental death. Okay, so this is the very much deep meaning. Well, they are using this paradox, but though they are meaningful. Whenever we see that this is absurd, but it has its own meaning, but for that we need that particular eyesight. Irony. This is also a kind related to death. this here, the real meaning of the sentence is exactly opposite of what is being given to us. It is like a paradox only. Okay, so real meaning of the sentence is exactly opposite. Means whatever they want to convey, the sentence is, they are putting sentence is totally opposite, and the meaning they want to convey is totally opposite from the sentences. It is a figure of speech that is used to express something other than and especially to oppose of the literal meaning. Okay, so literal meaning is totally opposite. They are using a particular meaning which is opposite to the literal meaning. In other words, a usually humorous literary style or form is characterized by irony. Okay, so here they are using this irony to characterize some usually humorous literary style. They are using irony. No doubt you are the people, and wisdom should die with you. He says that no doubt you are the people, but still wisdom should die with you. As we said, that never follow the crowd, because crowd hasn't the sense. Okay, so this is in that meaning, that no doubt you are the people means you are a crowd, but wisdom should die with you. Whenever you are in a group, whenever you are in a crowd, the wisdom dies. While describing her vacation with heavy irony as an educational experience. Now people want vacation to get rid away, especially children wants to vacation to get rid away from their educational one. But here he says that while describing her vacation with a heavy irony, whenever we are describing her vacation with a heavy irony, as in because her vacation was her educational experience. So at vacation she is dealing with this educational stuff. So it is here he putting irony. It was a tragic irony that he made himself sick by worrying so much about his health. He put himself in a danger. Okay, he made himself sick by worrying so much about his health only. So he was thinking too much about his health, and now he is sick. So it is also a tragic irony that he made himself sick. So he is the only reason for making himself sick. Why? Because he want to think about, he was constantly thinking about his health. So you are thinking about your health, and you are going to be sick by this worrying of your constant health. Like today in this era of pandemic, we all are feeling like that. The most of the people who are suffering from this pandemic, we can say that they are moreover suffering from this mental fear rather than the original contagiousness. So they are more affected by their mental stress rather than this contagious. So every time in this kind of atmosphere, in this kind of pandemic, we really need to make our self calm, as well as we need to keep ourself healthy, as well as our mental health is too much important. If we have to keep our body and mind, both we have to keep healthy, then and it will be possible to fight from this kind of such a grave danger pandemic. And I hope this pandemic will also teach us so many things that we won't be able to learn, that we will see after, whenever we will pass this pandemic, we will get victory over that, and after that we will understand that okay, what new kind of things we learn from this pandemic. Okay, so this is also kind of irony, that you are constantly thinking about your health and you get sick. Anyone would think that I nagged at you. So this is the line of your poem Amanda, and here speaker believes that she doesn't nag Amanda. Her mother believes that she is not nagging Amanda, but however she was exactly doing the thing. She was exactly nagging her, but she is asking that okay, anyone would think that I nagged you, but really you are doing that. You are nagging your daughter, and then you said that someone think that I am nagging you. So this is the irony. Okay. Litwords in this figure of speech, positive ideas, they are conveyed by making the opposite negative. They are putting the positive ideas only, but they are using different way to convey their making their message. So they are using opposite negative. They are using negative, but the opposite of a particular word. They are using opposite negative. Like Mr. Shah is no fool. So you can say that Mr. Shah is clever, but he says that Mr. Shah is no fool. So no, by using no, they are making negative, and vice opposite is full. So they are making opposite negative. As friend, remember not. Always we want that someone as friend, remember not. So as we want to call that as friend, remember me, but as a friend. So here they are putting not. I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. This is also a part of your poem number 4, Amanda, or 5 maybe in a chronic if you count it in a, but 4 5 your lesson number 4, poem number 4, Amanda. Have not a care has been used to convey that strong positive emotions of being carefree. I have not a care. By this negative point, he wants to put her positive emotions of being carefree. If I am Rapunzel, then I don't want to let anyone come to my palace, so I will be carefree. Means I have not a care. By this negative sentence, she wants to put positive emotions of being carefree. Anastrophe. This anastrophe is the normal order of words is reversed to suit the purpose of the poet. So here the arrangement of the words, they are interchanged because or they are reversed the words to suit the purpose of the poet. So to fulfill the need of poet or give it a good effect, they are using this anastrophe. They are using this word reverse theory than the normal one. Okay. Bites he doesn't the dog. Generally he doesn't bites the dog, but he bites he doesn't the dog. We the birds betray. Okay, the birds we betray. We the birds betray. And if there should to you advance. Okay, so if there should to you advance, and so this is how they are interchanged, or rather we can say that reverse the arrangement or order of words to suit the purpose of the poet. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with sports is peppered, the crocodile you always may tell from the hyena. Thus this example also belongs to anastrophe because inversion of the arrangement of words is seen in each of them. Okay, the crocodile you always may tell from the hyena. Thus, so this is how they are using this interchange of words or reverse the words rather than the normal order to fulfill the purpose of the poet. So anastrophe, the not a proper arrangement of words, they are reversed, okay, or interchange. Transferred appetite. Now transferred appetite, in this figure of speech an adjective or attribute is shifted from its actual place. Now they are not putting at their actual place. These adjectives or attributes are not put or attribute are shifted from its actual place. So they are not placed at their actual place, but they are shifted from their actual place to another place in the same sentence. Sentence will not change. They are just they are shifting the place of this adjective or attributes. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of laws. Now above line is transfer appetite because the desperate adjective, the desperate is transferred from boy to the eyes. Okay, now this comes to the ball poem, where a boy lost his ball, and the suggestion and that no one can, if someone give him a new ball, then it won't be able to fulfill the place of that old ball, with which his so many memories are connected, and that kind of possession, kind of a things with that ball. So this epistemology of loss, so well behind his desperate eyes, rather he is desperate, they are using desperate with his eyes only. So it is it is also to make it more effective, or rather you can say that give a particular strong feeling or strongness of a poetic way. So they are using this kind of transfer appetite, they are changing the place of adjectives or attribute to give some poetic justice, some poetic effects, to make their expression or their feelings very strong. They are using this oxymoron. Now two opposite or contradictory qualities described. Look, in paradox we are putting opposite or contradictory things are there. Okay, in the antithesis we are also putting this opposite, but here we are putting two opposite or contradictory qualities. In oxymoron we are putting contradictory or opposite qualities, while in antithesis we are putting words only, contradictory or opposite words, while in oxymoron we are putting this opposite or contradictory qualities that describe the same thing at a one and the same time. It is called oxymoron. When two contradictory qualities describe in the same thing at the same time, that is time you can use oxymoron, like as the stand rigid, trembling, staring down. Now why it is oxymoron? Because the opposite idea of rigidity means without movement, and trembling means with uncontrolled movement. So both are opposite, they are used to next each other, like rigid and trembling and staring down. Sorry, rigid and trembling. So both are rigid and trembling are opposite or contradictory to each other, but though they are using at the same time to describe the qualities of different qualities at the same time in a one line. It is also for a poetic this sorry, to give justice to express their poetic ways, or rather we can say that put strong poetic effect and feelings of describing something. Epigram. Now it is a brief pointed saying which is paradoxical yet true, or another epigram is also kind of with paradox, because both the ideas are paradoxical but they are true. Like in paradox, that contradiction and opposite are together, but both are, but that though they are true, if you are putting two contradictory things together, you will find absurdity in your sentence, but though they has its own deep rooted meaning. Similarly, brief pointed say which is paradoxical yet true. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possession. Now the figure of speech in above line is epigram because a profound truth is taught with the loss of a simple ball. Okay, now he senses first responsibility in a world of possession. So first he lost his ball, and with this act of losing ball, he will gain the best lesson of his life, that by the passing time and again in your life, you have to lose so many things, your relations, your emotions, your friends, your relatives. After passing a time you are losing the things, but though you are losing, you have to learn how to survive, how to live without that things or that person. So this is how epigram is work. Metonymy. It means change of name. Here a name or word is used instead of another. So you will change the place of name or words to use instead of one another, because it will create such a poetic effect. India is processing in the IT sector. Here IT and India are interchanged. Why? because IT sector is processing in India. India is not processing in the IT sector, but IT sector of India is progressing. How to stand up? Stand up actually represent facing up to one's losses or problems. How to stand up? Now here it doesn't mean how to stand up. Here stand up means represent of facing up to one's particular losses or problems, means how to face your difficulties, how to face your problems. So you will find the different meaning of words in that. And the last one is synecdoche. Some are pronouncing doke, but it is not like synecdoche. When a part is used instead of the whole, it is synecdoche. When you are talking about a particular part, not the whole particular whole body or a particular whole thing, you are talking about a particular part or a particular thing of a whole thing, at that time you can use synecdoche. It is a figure of speech in which a part is used for a whole or the whole is used for a part. So both way you can use. You can use a particular part for a whole thing, or you are using whole thing for a particular part. First example is a part is used for the whole, like 50 shells for 50 ships. Okay, so 50 shells for a 50 ships. So shells are using for a wholeness. She had been 16 summers, means years. Okay, they left their father's roof. Roof means home, and summers means years. Okay, so they are using the word as the whole one. Now you are using whole for a part, using whole thing as a part. Society for a high society. So you are using whole high society for a you are using whole society for a one part of society, like a high society or lower society. But society is a wholeness, so whole society for a high society. The lavish moisture of the melting year. Melting year means summer. Okay. The foeman worthy of his steel means sword. Foeman worthy of his steel. Steel here is content for a sword. And the canvas oil painting glows. Okay, so here synecdoche they are using whenever you are using a particular part of a whole thing, or whenever you are using whole thing for a particular part, at that time you can use synecdoche. I hope you enjoy this. You will get idea about this. If you have any kind of a query, then you can come to me, ask in a different way, rather you can comment to me. Okay, till then enjoy your studies, stay safe at your place, have a good time ahead. Bye.